Welcome to island-wide palm trees. Today we're going to be planting a 10-foot windmill palm. Okay, first you want to measure your root ball, measure the height of it, and this one here is roughly about 16 inches. So you want to bury the root up to here, a little hanging up over the ground. You don't want to bury this below the soil level, the ground level. So you want to keep this at ground level or a little bit above. Then you also want to measure the width of the ball, and we're roughly about 28 inches, 26 to 28 inches. So now you need to make your hole about 6 inches wider on each side. So you need to make your hole about 40 inches wide, and then you need to make the hole depth 16 inches, plus you want to add 2 inches for sand, and then 2 inches for sand and potting soil mixed together. So 4 inches on top of that. So your hole should be about 20 inches deep if you have well draining soil. If you have a clay soil, you might want to add about another 2 or 3 inches of pebbles onto that below on the bottom. Okay, here we are. We dug the hole approximately 40 inches wide. And a good way to test how deep you are is to take one of your shovels or a 2x4, place it across the top, and measure it from top to bottom. So we're looking to be about 20 inches deep. And right there, we are about 20 inches deep. We've got to probably add about another inch of soil. We're about 21. So we'll add another inch of sand, about 3 inches of sand, and 2 inches of a sand and potting soil mix. And then we'll backfill it all in with potting soil around the tree. Once you get the hole dug, wet the soil down. Give it a good soaking. And then you also want to wet the burlap on the tree. You want to give the roots a good soaking. You hear different stories about whether to leave the burlap on. We like to take it off. We put the tree in the hole first, and then we take the wire off first, and we put the tree in the hole with the burlap, and then we cut it out, and maybe just leave a little bit of burlap down on the bottom of the tree. Putting about 3 inches of sand in there. Like I said, normally it's 2 inches. So now we mix the potting soil or compost in with the sand. I'm going to do about another 2 inches of that. Now that it's mixed, they're going to apply it into the hole. After you get about 2 inches of that, you're going to wet it down again. And then you'll be ready to put the tree in after you take off the wire on the basket. You see we got the sand and soil mixed, and the sand, it's roughly about 16 inches, the size of the root ball. Everything looking fine. So now we cut off the wire basket. You tend to find a bolt cutter works well. Once this is removed, we'll place the tree into the hole. Now we're going to position the tree. Let's untie it first before you probably put it up. You don't want to untie it first? Okay.
In the middle.
There you go. So now you get the tree inside. We're going to hold this tree up as he cuts away the burlap. So now we have the tree inside the hole. The height is right. We're going to fill it in now with the compost or this potting soil mix. As you're putting the soil in, soak it so you take away any air pockets. Then apply more soil. Okay, now that we got this potting soil almost to about 2 inches left, we're going to mix it with the original soil we took out of the ground. But right now we're going to pat this down with our foot, take away any air pockets and wet this down again before you apply the additional mixture of the potting soil compost with the original organic soil, or the diggins as we like to call it. And now we'll wet this down again. Here you go, Adam. Everybody that's Adam, the first man on earth. So now we're going to mix our diggings with the potting soil. Take some more of the diggings from back over there. Now we're backfilling with the diggings and the potting soil mixed together. We'll bring it to the planted height. And then we're going to make a dam going around a circle with the diggings to help keep the water in, because you're going to water this tree every other day. You're going to soak it every other day for 2 weeks. And then after that, you don't need to water it every other day. You're only going to water it maybe once or twice a week. The tree doesn't like too much water. Too much water can actually damage the tree. So you want to put this in a place that's not getting hit by a sprinkler. Now, like we said, you want to build a mound around with the diggings to help keep the water in when you water this every other day. So now we're going to water the tree down again. As you see, the mound keeps the water inside. Applying mulch around a tree. You want to kind of keep it off the trunk, maybe about 2 to 4 inches. The mulch. It's alright if you have some roots exposed from the top of the windmill palm. That's not going to damage it. Okay, now that the tree is planted, we have one hanging one we're going to cut off right now. Christian's going to cut it off very close to the size and dispose of it. All of these were once fronds that were cut off. If you don't trim the fronds off, when they start hanging down and turning brown on you, they'll never fall off. So that's how you trim them. So all of those were once fronds at one time. And now you have it, the completed planting of a windmill palm tree. So now you're going to water this every other day for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you're only going to water, like I said, once a week to maybe twice a week. Too much water can kill the palm tree. Now, in about a week to 2 weeks from now, this tree is going to go into shock. Don't be scared. Shock can last anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And it might just look a little sick, but after that, after about 4 weeks, it'll start looking better. So no need to worry. In about 3 weeks from now, you're going to give it a slow release fertilizer, like a 3-1-3 combination. So you might be able to find something like a 12-4-12 or like a 12-8-14, something close to the 3-1-3 would work. You want a slow release fertilizer granulated that is dispensed over time, released over time. So when you apply that around the roots of the tree, kind of like where your mulch is, and then you're going to soak that in with the hose, that granulated fertilizer. You don't actually want to put it up against the roots of the tree along the base. You want to kind of spread it out under, like I said, where the mulch is, and then kind of soak that in. So the beautiful windmill palm planted here in Wantor on the inlet along the canal. Who can ask for anything more? Turning this backyard into a paradise. There's Christian. There's the muscle in the group. That would be Adam again, the first man on earth.
Brain of that person.
Okay.